Hi guys, welcome back. Happy to have you back here. Okay, so I have a confession to make. Does it matter? Probably not. But we did, believe it or not, we did a trifold thing together. Did a craft with me. But that somehow part of it got lost. It's gone. It's missing. I don't know where it went. I had it, I really did, because I checked it and I was getting ready to upload it this last weekend and it was gone. So I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But what I thought we would do is I'm making some small ones for my grandchildren. So what we'll do is go through the technique of putting these together, adding the flaps on and the seams, basically. We'll do that. These are the pockets for this, so these need to be painted with the crackle paint, so that'll give you that technique as well. So it's really not a big deal. We won't go through painting these another one, but we'll do this process. So with having said that, we'll get started. But for those of you that really don't want to listen to me chat or just do a craft with me, please feel free to fast forward. That doesn't hurt my feelings at all, and I totally get that. I'm just learning how to do scrapbooking, journaling, making, and video. So, so I'm certainly not the expert here, and I just value your time as much as you do. So please fast forward or mute it if you don't want to listen to me chat, because I'm just going to hang out and craft. And hopefully you'll learn something, or at least be inspired to do something, and that's that. So here we go. Let's see, what should we do first? I know. Bear with me. First we'll just put these together, and I'll try and explain it as we go along. All you're going to need are, to make the larger one, which is not a threefold. This one is a threefold. These little pockets keep falling out because they're not attached. This one is just like this, like a triple fold, folio thing, no big deal. And then it has a little tiny journal that goes inside. This is the little tiny journal, but no, it doesn't have any pages in it yet. And this one is going to be kind of piratey for my grandson. This one, however, I should specify, is not the same as the one that I showed you in the first video. It is a kind of a fourfold thing with a journal inside. So here's the little journal inside, and then it has a flap at the bottom and a flap at the top, and one on each side. And then these are the pockets that go in. And like I said, we'll paint those. That's why it doesn't look finished. And then there'll be a pocket inside here, and the journal inside there, and we'll do some tags, and we'll do some fun stuff, yada yada. Yada yada. So there you go. So we're gonna put these together. And this is not complicated at all. It's super simple. So all you need here, oh, that's what I was gonna tell you, is measurements. You gotta tell me to stay on task. Where are my measurements? So for the one that is the 4 fold out, you need 3 squares. I need my pencil. 3 squares, and I'll put this in the description box. 3 squares at 5 1/4 by 5 1/4. Then 4 squares at 5 inches, 5 by 5 inches. Then 4 5-inch by 3/8 of an inch. That's going to be a spine, which is what these little guys are in a fold. So a little spine that's going to go in between. Then 3 4 3/4 by 3-inch top flaps. I'm really not. These are the little top flaps. And then 4, I don't know why I have 4. Oh, I know. 4, I'll explain that later. 4 pockets at 4 3/4 by 3/8. No, that's not right. What do I have here? Pockets and top flap. Oh, 5 pockets. 5. I have the spine on here written twice. This is how I roll. 5 pockets, which is these little guys. You want 5 of them. And those are 4 3/4 by 2.5 inch, and they're just a little bit narrower than the top flap. And then for your journal, 4 3/4 by 4 3/4, because a journal is has to be smaller to fit inside. And then you'll have 2 pockets for that. That's why we did 5 of them. 2 pockets that actually are a little bit narrower. I changed it a little bit, so they're a little bit narrower, and they'll fit inside of here, like that, or like that. Either way, inside that little journal. Hope that makes sense. But these little guys, these tiny ones, are 3 inch by 3 inch squares. You want 3 of those. You want 3 2 3/4 by 1 3/4 inch top flaps. 3 of those guys. And then 3 pockets, which are 2 3/4 by 1 5/8 right there. And then 2 spines, just like that. There. And I'll put this in the description box, so you don't have to, pay attention to that or figure out what I just said, because it probably didn't make any sense. So we'll get started. I'm just going to put some tape on these, and I'll show you sort of how to do it. So grab a piece of tape, and I like to trim off the rough edge of the tape just so that it is a little smoother on this guy when we put it together. Is that long enough? Yep. So I'll set the top flaps and pockets aside and just do the spine. And all I'm going to do is put this on there about like that. I think you can see through that. It's not very straight, but doesn't matter really, because we're going to paint the tape. I'm going to put paint over the tape. Then line up your spine. Give yourself some space for that spine. And I think just use a credit card or a gift card, or even just like, I'll just use these guys because these are mine. I have these handy. So you're just going to do a space, enough of a space in between so that it won't, I don't know how to show you how to do that, so it won't bind up. Do it that way. Then I kind of sort of see. Kind of sort of. There we go. I don't know if I can get this straight at this angle, but maybe we'll just go with it. So see that? See through there? You just want a little bit of a space right through there. Then put your next piece on. Yeah, I didn't get that lined up quite right, so I'm sorry, I have to move that. Otherwise, it's not gonna work. It'll be crooked. Not crooked, but it wasn't that I didn't have it lined up the distance, right? It was, anyway, yeah, it don't matter. It don't matter. Then I'm gonna do that one just like that. Just like that. Flip it over. Get your bone folder, or whatever you use to kind of get your tape to stick down. Like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect at all. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight because you won't see it. You'll see it a little bit, but not a lot. And then I like to trim the tape off before I move forward. And it's super crooked. This is super crooked. I'm not loving that, how crooked that is. But I just want you to see it so I can take it apart later and do it right. So I'm actually not gonna finish this one today. Then just put another bit of tape on top. Oh gosh, I can't handle it, guys. Sorry. I can't. It's just way too crooked. There. That's better. Then put another piece of tape. Gosh, I'm trying to figure out how to do this without having my hands in the way. Right over that. Kind of as straight as you can get it. Again. Then has to be perfect, but we don't want that wrinkle in there. And your roll and folder through there, and then I'll trim off this. Oops. I wrote that down. Make sure it's well stuck on there. Well stuck. There. Oh, I'm really liking that so much better. So it's not so crooked. Eesh. Try not to be so OCD when I do this stuff, but I don't know. How do you fix that? Okay, now, that's our first one. Now we're going to do this side. Line up a bit of tape here. I know this is kind of, once you get the idea down on how it goes together, it's just kind of boring. Just kind of repetitious. I'm going to try doing it like this. I think I can see better if I do that. Get my head in the way. And then put that next little spine on there. And that's, on this one I did a 1/4 inch spine. These are 1/4 inch. These little 3 inch by 1/4 inch, and that's too, I give it too wide of a deal there. I'm just gonna eyeball it. Just trying to eyeball it. Not worry about absolute perfectness, but enough so that you can see I'm not completely incapable. Okay. Okay, so a little word of wisdom when you do this is if you're doing a wider spine, obviously these are really small, and I just thought I'd do them for demo purposes, is you don't want your tape, when you're doing a wider spine, your tape, depending on the width of your tape, and you can use any kind of tape you want, or you can even use fabric, which I've used fabric before. You have to glue the fabric down, and it works great. But so there we go. We have these through. So what I was going to say is, you don't, if your tape is narrower, you don't want it to end up in one of these seams or close to the seam. You want it to be well above it. Otherwise, it's when this goes to fold, it'll start coming undone, and you just don't want that. That would not work well. So there's that. Then we're going to put these top flaps on, these guys right here. 2 3/4, 2 3/4, 2 3/4 by 1 3/4. I don't have that measurements on that one. It don't matter. So with these, you just want to center them. See, we did them 2 3/4, so you kind of have about 1/8 of an inch on either side, and so it won't bind up. So again, give yourself some space in between. Putting that on there. That, and just long enough. I got that a little bit short. Maybe. So how's it going? What are you guys up to? Been having some fun? Enjoying some fun weather? Oh boy, I tell you, the weather keeps you on your toes these days. Okay, so definitely keep up here some space so that you create that hinge and it doesn't bind up so much. Yeah, that's not some of my best work, but I'm not going to lose sleep over it again. I'm just not. And then do it on the other side. Yeah, crazy weather all across the country. We've had snow, we've had fog, we've had rain, and then today we got a little bit of sunshine, but clouds, and then it's going to start all over again. Do it all over again. Gosh, rains and floods and fires, and what a world. Yeah, people down under have crazy fire, crazy heat. Here on the West Coast, it's just not so bad. Central or Midwest and East Coast, awful stuff lately. I'm sorry, guys. And I am just not a big fan of snow. So I just trimmed that off, sort of. Not very well, obviously. I'll fix it. Can't do it at that angle, just can't. Gosh, yeah, not a big fan of snow. At least here in Oregon, The snow is very wet. It's not like it is in, you know, other places like Colorado, which, oh my gosh, the snow there is amazing. It's dry and powdery, and gosh, you can sweep it. And then the sun comes out. The sun comes out and it's warm and beautiful. Love Colorado. And then like Wisconsin and East Coast, very dry. It's not like it is here. So you know, we'll get a little bit of snow unless you're high up in the mountains. You know, if you're way high, you know, at 3,000 or 4,000, well, 4, 5, 6,000 feet, it's a different ball game. It's a little bit colder. Okay, that flap. Uh-oh, I gotta pause for 1 second. Hang on. Oh gosh, sorry about that. Had to take a call. It's not that you weren't important. It's just that with the rescue work, I have to be able to do that. I have to have my phone going. Certain days, certain things are going on, and you never know what's going to come up on those days. So I'm okay for right now. Anyway, I don't remember where we were. We're going to put this guy on. I'll just go ahead and put on this one. Yeah. The rescue takes a lot of work. Got a dog we need to pull owner's surrender, and then one that's just been dumped in a shelter that needs to get out of there and has some medical stuff that needs to be taken care of. So we'll get on that. And but gotta figure out transport. Transport takes a little time to figure out sometimes. Sometimes it's a long ways, and weather and volunteers. It's all volunteer. Let's see, 100% volunteer. So sometimes it just takes a minute. It takes a minute to put it together. Everybody on our transport team donates so many hours, and I usually, well, it works for me to drive a couple hours one direction or the other. If I drive 2 hours, then it's only 4 overall, and then meet the next leg and the next leg, and depends on where they're headed, their ultimate destination is. So yeah, that's that. That's my excuse for having the phone there, and it's on silent. But we'll get this guy out of the shelter. It's a high kill shelter, so have to move fast. But we're good. We'll get him all the paperwork sent in and get him pulled tomorrow and get his medical needs taken care of quick. And happy ever after, I hope. Poor babies. Babies. The different rescues that I work with, you know, we take the underdogs, if you will, the seniors that, you know, nobody wants, the ones that have medical condition. And we don't always just take those. I mean, we'll take others as well, but we really want to give those seniors a chance. Oops, I'm sorry, I'm holding it too close. See, that's why I struggle with this, because I can't see far away. Well, it's not even far away. Got my granny glasses on. Yeah. So, I don't know why I was going off on that. Oh, yeah. I wish you guys could talk back. Oh my God. Jeez, Joel, stay on task. Too much on my little brain. Okay, so last one. Now, we won't put the pockets on these, because if we decide to stitch around the outside, the pockets can be in the way, and you don't want to stitch your pocket closed. So that's why I do that at the end. After it's painted, I think about doing some stitching on it, which I will probably do. Most probably do on these little guys. So there we go. That's it. And then see, it easily goes like that. And it's just a cute little thing. And the pockets will go on the bottom. We'll round the corner, so set that aside. So you got that. Super easy. And like I say, you don't have to worry about the paint, but I mean the tape. But what I do is I put gesso over the tape because it's kind of slick. And you really want the paint to stick to it. You don't want the paint to build up in the cracks, or the cracks, in the folds. You don't want it, because you don't want that to be bound up in there. But you do want some paint on there. So let me get the other one and show you. Set that over here out of the way. So see, you'll see that there's a little bit of paint in that crack. I don't know if you can see that. And it's kind of flaking off there. No big deal. We'll just flake it off. You can use a little, you can use an emery board to clear it off a little bit. You just don't want to work on that too hard because you don't want to sand through your tape. And then what I'll do in that area is just use some rub and buff or gilding wax, and you'll see that later. So see that? Easy. Pockets. Okay. So then on the, yeah, what am I thinking? Gesso. So you can't even tell. This, I'll show you what we do with this, just so you know, so that you won't even see that roughness. And when you paint them, if you decide to do that, you don't have to paint the whole thing. You can just paint over the tape. So so this is rub and buff. It's kind of faded. It lasts forever, or gilding wax. I just don't happen to have gilding wax. I don't have that option here. I just don't have craft stores that have that kind of stuff. And then I forget to order it. But at the building supply, I can get the rub and buff, oddly enough. There we go. See that? And then let it dry, and then you just kind of it'll just polish up a bit. I don't care if it's over the edge too much. Okay, let me wipe that off now. Right there. See, never even know. And you can use different colors, obviously, of the rub and buff. You don't have to use what I was using gold here, but my first layer before I did the crackle was a gold. So that's why. So then with all the crackle, it kind of showed up like that. And in some cases, like on this one, and on the original one that I did, we're putting paper on the back. So even though you can, when this crackled, it gave it kind of a straight line here. We're going to be putting paper or different embellishments on here, so it just doesn't matter. The paint can just go on kind of funky and okay, and I got to get this gold off my fingers. Yeah, no big deal. No big deal. It's not going to come off very well, but yeah, a little bit of it off. Just don't want to get it on everything else. So, let's see, what do I want to show you here? I think that's good. We're done with this tape for now. I'm going to put some, if you want to pause this, just pause it anytime, and go ahead and put your pieces together however you want. The configuration you can do any way you want. It's just any way you want to fold. Just remember to give yourself some space if you're going to be folding in a cube or in a line. These all need a little bit of space, or they're going to bind up on each other. Not only space, but you know, have the little hinge spines in here, or it won't work. It'll be too tricky. Okay, so this guy, let me think. Show you how I'm going to put that together after a minute. Put it aside. And these we're going to paint. We're going to go ahead and put the top coat on this one so you can see it crackle. Maybe. Let's hope it works. Let's hope it works. I have a little paint tray over here. Some paint on the tray. What was I going to say about that? Say something about that. Oh yeah, so go ahead and put your first coat of whatever color you want on your cardboard or your cereal box or whatever it is you're using for your base. You definitely want a fairly heavy weight cardstock. Just go ahead and put your first coat of paint on, and I just chose gold. You can choose any color. You could do, you know, black in the background and then white on the top, a couple shades of purple, whatever. You just want a little bit of a contrast of difference just so that you can see that crackling. So I'm going to pull over a bit of, sorry about this, but if I don't put another sheet on here, then it gets all messy and then it looks confusing on camera. So, so yeah, do that and then put your crackle medium on. If you're using crackle medium, you can let it dry, you know, 2 days and then come back and put your top coat on. If you're making your own, which you certainly can do, YouTube that or Google that, and it's not a difficult process. It's a little bit unpredictable, but it's just Elmer's glue, and you kind of have to deal with it fairly quickly. Whereas this, you don't. You can just let it sit and then come back. And because of my crazy life, I need to do that. I need to be able to come back. So I'll get my sleeves all the way. And as the paint dries, it will crackle. You want to just kind of go with one even paint stroke. Oh, you don't want to go back over it. It's going to be messy, messy, messy. I kind of loaded my brush. So the thicker the paint, the heavier the crackle. The thinner the paint, the lighter the crackle. You just don't want to go back and forth. You don't want to sweep back and forth, which I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it if you're quick, if you're super quick. That one really bugs me because that's going to probably be funky. Yeah, just go one direction, fairly thick or thin, depending on what you're looking for. Thinner paint is going to give you a finer crackle. Thicker paint is going to give you a deeper crackle, and it just keeps crackling as it goes along. Don't go back over it, or you'll have to go back over and start the process over again. Just saying. Been there, done that. I don't care. Again, I don't care if it's perfect, because there'll be lots of embellishment over the top. It's just kind of the idea. Just kind of the different look. Not very thick. So let's see if I can talk and work at the same time. I can if I'm not trying to explain it too, I think. Get a little more paint run out. And that dries really, really quickly. It's just acrylic paint, so acrylic paint dries really quick. Little globby there. Just if you go back over it, it's going to get kind of, it's not going to do it like a really super even crackle. It kind of just smears it a bit. Okay, got this one. Don't worry about getting paint on the back side, because we won't see the back side either. Hopefully this is all working. I didn't even check to see if it was even filming or in, oh gosh, or in frame, anything. Hopefully it is. I wasn't doing this a little bit. I'd look a little bit closer. So that's kind of boring, but that's how it works. Nothing too difficult about it. There we go. Let's put a little bit on that bit right there. A little bit right there. It doesn't matter. Don't matter, man. Don't matter. So give me a second here and I'll show you a little bit closer. You can see how it's crackling. I think you can probably see, But, gosh, I'm paint all over my hands. I just don't want to get it on other things. I love the crafters that can just, like, it doesn't matter if you have a little thing hanging from your finger or paint, and it just, and me, I'm like, I gotta get that off. Okay, so see that? See, I got that pretty heavy right there, but it's not a big deal. That will crackle and that will dry. It just kind of sucks on down. It's super thin here, so that's going to be a really fine crackle in there. And then it's a little bit thicker paint, so you'll get a deeper crackle. And as this dries, it'll separate more and more. So it dries pretty quickly. This one's really fine. That. And it's kind of some thick lines on there. Super fine where it's thinner and a little bit thicker there. But no, it'll all work out. It all works out. So like I said, we'll end up putting things over the top, and all you'll be really looking at is, you know, just the edges. It's just a little distressed look. So I'll set these aside, get them out of our way, and dry for a couple of minutes. And then I got more paint on my hand. Oh well. Okay, so let's take a look at, so I can't use those. Let's take a look at this. I was thinking, since this was going to be kind of piratey, I was thinking about on the back side, these, make sure I don't get the wrong ones. They're different sizes. Thinking on the back of this, I think I'm going to sew around it, is what I was getting at. I think I'm going to stitch around it and then maybe put the pockets on, maybe stitch the pockets. I don't know if I want to stitch the pockets to it, is what I'm wondering. Maybe just a straight stitch. And then I cut out these are just I think a 1.5 inch circle, and folded them in half and painted them gold. And what I'm going to do, I think, is put that on there, one there. And it's hard to see because I want to keep flipping up. And then if you don't, it'll get better. I promise it'll get better. Promise. Like that. Let me lay something on here. That hold it down? Yeah. Holds it down kind of, sort of, a little bit. And then maybe these on here is a little shell, 2 little shells, and because I want to finish those pockets before, and then I have a little crab, little crabby guy, put him on there. And I thought what I would do, the holes in these are super small, so I think I'll just use head pin. I kind of tried it. So I just cut down a head pin. See? Just a head pin. You see that? Because it looks like a little nail, but it's really thin. So I'm going to use that because the little brads won't fit through that tiny hole. So I'm just going to kind of improvise, because I want this to swivel. I want this to swivel up here and close this. When it spins around, it'll be like that. Hopefully that makes sense. So let's do that. I'm going to grab something so that I can put a hole in them and mark them and trim a little bit of that. I have paint on my, get that paint out of the way, so I don't end up with paint on everything. Okay, so I'm going to push in here. In here, poker. I need to work on this poker. It's kind of bent. Find the center. Oh wait, let's see. Never mind. I need to line that up there a bit. Center that up there a little bit. So all I'm trying to do is center it with the pocket, so that it it's inside each edge fairly evenly and fairly evenly from the bottom. And you can measure this, but yeah, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to go through all that fuss and bother. That works. And then this, I want right at the edge of that. So let's see what the center of that's going to be. Let's flip that open. It's being a booger. I think before I measure it, I think I'm just going to just mark it right here, right here. There we go. And then each one will be at the same level. So my point being is that the flat edge will go where I marked it right there in the center. Like that. So we're not going to glue it, we're just going to center it on there. So we're going to poke a hole in both of them. Hopefully that's going to, oh, that doesn't look centered in that, sorry. Just using this little phone book. So I have a little hole there. I'm going to do each one. Right here. That look about right. Still look the same, samey seam. Line that up there so I know. Right there. This one doesn't want to go through as easy as that one. This one, I'll go over here. There. I'm gonna have it all wonky. Okay, and then I want to center it on here so that it's below that line and then pretty centered. And I'll just poke it on through. Does that look pretty centered? It's a little far on that way. Okay, and then where's this guy? Where'd my other, where'd it go, where'd it go, where'd it go? Oh, I'll just grab that one. That head pin through that shell, and I just trimmed it off short. Put that through there. I'm MacGyver in this, I think. Just trying to figure out a way of making this work without, just trying to figure it out. Okay, and then now the head pin is through, all the way through. You see that? Oh, there you are. Right there. And we don't, it doesn't matter, this is gonna be flipping around, but I wanna fold that over. So, just use my, oh, there's the other shell. Oh, come on, don't give me a hard time. There we go. Just bend that over. You can flatten them out too, you know, just get a hammer and flatten them out. And then all I'm gonna do is put a little piece of tape back there. Make sure it stays pretty tight. I don't want a big old chunk of tape, but enough. And then I'm gonna point it in the downward direction so it doesn't hook on that stuff that we put in there. And then rub that in. Where's my little card here? Or not card. There we go. So then this sits on here. Whoops. Sits on here like that. That comes down. That's just going to sit right underneath there. And then I'll just flip that around like that. And then this can go any direction. It just spins. There. See? It's okay. It's okay. It's not fab, but it's okay. It's a tiny bit off center, but hey, you know, he's like, what is he? He's gonna be 6. He doesn't care. He doesn't care if it's perfect. He just wants something to carry its treasure maps in. Okay. I don't want to sew that pocket down yet. I'm going to stitch around the outside edge. Oh, I don't need this anymore. Yeah, I do. I need to poke this in here. Sorry. Put this phone book away. But sign these up. Sign these up here. Gosh. So about, I guess I should have been a little more thoughtful about this. I'll get my crabby. Grab the crabby guy. Come through here. I'm just going to bend that over for a second while I do the other one, so I can have them the same-ishness. Yeah, you guys would use a ruler. You would totally use a ruler. That would be the wise, again, that would be the wise thing to do. I've too many years in sculpture. I'm not this fine crafter. Okay, another shell. Poke that in there. Go. That one in there. Bend it over. There we go. That. A couple bits of tape. Oh wait, I want to trim it off first. Trimmers. Ouch. Pinch my finger. I just pinched my finger in the cutters. There we go. Yeah, like I said, you can, this is pretty soft wire. And if you don't have, you know, a head pin, if you just have regular wire, you could probably just do a little loop in the top and the same thing. I mean, most little charms don't have such a tiny hole, and I didn't want it to like swing with jump rings. I just wanted it to sit like that. So that's why I'm doing that. Don't have to do it that way. This is just my little deal here. You don't have to do anything the way I do it. It's just, you don't. There's no requirements here. It's just however you want. The only thing that you're limited by is your imagination. So just let your imagination go wild and just have fun. It should just be fun. Always. That one's a little bit neater than the last one. Consistently inconsistent as usual. Matter. Just want to cover it up so it doesn't hang up when you slide stuff inside. That's all. Just don't want that to be happening. Okay, now don't let me forget to put my crab one in the center, otherwise it'll be weird. I was wishing I had some little skulls or something instead of something, you know, cutesy like a. There, let's get this out of the way. Done with those. Put those back over there. My phone book. Get a sip of water. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stitch around this, and then I'm going to do the same thing with this, with the journal. What I'm going to do is use kind of a cross stitch, like, you know, X, kind of an X kind of thing. And I could try, I'll try and set up my phone over by the sewing machine. So hang on, it'll be pieced together, but hang on. Okay, I'm back. I went ahead and stitched around this, and then stitched around the pockets, and then I'm just going to glue those in, and then they'll kind of look stitched there, but they won't actually be. Spin that guy back around. Yeah, I think that'll work. And then we'll decorate the front and maybe the flaps. Okay, I'm trying to decide what to do. Yeah. Oh, and then I stitched around this too. So I did one pocket this way and then one that way. And then we'll go ahead and put some gold on the areas that that need it. And then sometimes when you stitch through things, it'll bring out the white of the paper, and no big deal. I want this to look old and funky. I'm not, I want it to look like it's been in pirate's hands. So I'll just do that, make it look even more old and funky. And there, it'll be super cool. Super cool. Super cool. Can even do that there. It'll take some of that out. Figure out a way of making it just a little more tattered. A pirate tatter. I think. It's gonna be fun to try. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and do these guys. Get those kind of boring. This is boring. Thanks for hanging with me again. I love that you're here. I love that I have someone to talk to. I just wish you guys could talk back. I don't know why I'm doing the back side of that. That's just ridiculous. Yeah, I wish you could really, really tell me what you're doing and what's going on. And, yeah, because it's just me and the dogs. Me and the doggos. And, half a dozen phone calls to try and take care of business. This poor little guy that we're getting out of, pulling out of the shelter, he has a broken leg, and he's had it for a while. So it's broken, and then it was never treated, and it's infected, and it's just a mess. So this is going to be, this is going to be hard. Poor guy. Poor guy. A lot of expenses in that. But why? I don't understand. And then he was just dumped. He was just dumped in the shelter. But someone, maybe they didn't have enough money to care for him. But it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart. Someone would do that. Sometimes I don't understand. I think I would go, I know I would go without eating. I would go without a lot of things before I would let my dog suffer. I know. Or my kids. My grandkids. I don't want anybody to suffer. This is wrong. Wrong. Yeah, so we'll get him out of there. He's already at the vet getting some treatment, and then we'll get him transported. He's got long roads. He's got about, let me think, that's 14 hours to here, and then he's going to go north from here. I think he's going to go clear up to the other end of Washington. So, wow, that's another 3, 4, 5, 8 to 10 hours. This will be a long road for him. Poor guy. But it'll be a happy ever after. Happy forever. I'm still trying to decide whether to stitch the top of these, but maybe not. Might be too much. Might be too much to do that. See, that's looking pretty funky, huh? Piratey. It's just the blue. I struggled with the blue. Struggled with it. Kind of wanted to go with like the ocean color of blue, and then I'm just like, yeah, that's a little too bright. But I think it's working out. I think it's gonna be okay. Maybe, baby. Well, that's still got some paint peeling off of there. It's all right. I'll just put some more gold on there and keep with the distress ink, and it just won't matter. See, it just won't matter. Oh, I need to get a new sponge on my, it's kind of falling apart. Whatever this thing is. Applicator? Is that what you call it? An applicator? There, that that did great. That did great. So then we'll glue these on, and that'll be great, right? This to be a little bit there, a little bit more there. It really should be grungier underneath, I think, but it's okay. It's that oh, see? Don't want that little crab in the wrong spot. I'm gonna have to do that over again. I don't. Okay. Oops, I guess I should close that up. I'm just gonna use Fabri-Tac, and then I might put the yeah, see, I can't talk right this afternoon. Can't seem to talk most of the time. Can't seem to talk and glue at the same time. That out of the way. Is that right? Yep. I just want to set that down just a little bit from the top so it doesn't bind it up. So here we go. My glue is a paper towel. Sorry, I'm going to reach in front of you, or hopefully it won't bump the iPad. There we go. Oh gosh, it's starting to get cold. My sun's out. It's so gorgeous, but I don't have a lot of insulation. It's still cold. I don't have a lot of insulation in here, so the heater goes and goes and goes. And right now it's not going. So, anywho. Alright, see if I have that lined up. Looking pretty good. Let's do this one. Oh, see, my machine got all tangled up there. I don't know what happened, but it did. So, so that reminds me, when you are stitching through glue or tape, when you're finished with that process, or every once in a while, take your needle out and use some rubbing alcohol or something on it to get that stickiness off of your needle, or you will have problems like this. I don't think that was a problem here. I think it just it was the bobbin thread didn't catch properly, but that's something, if you're having trouble with it, that could be why you're having trouble. Because it can get in your way. Okay, that's too far down. I can move it up just a little bit. Right. Just a little bit. There we go. Fabulous. Oh, I want to get glue on everything. Fabulous. Whoa! Whoa. That's taken off on me there. This guy taken off on me? No. Stay there, guys. Stay there. Oh, see. I gotta trim this off of here too. This big old knot. No worries. You're not gonna see it. It's not gonna be in the wear, but I don't want it too thick on the back. So that's why I'm trimming it off a little bit. On this one, the needle hopped over the edge. Got too close to the edge. So, I set a few things aside for maybe decorating this. I just don't have much for pirate stuff. I have like stickers that I had I purchased for Jax, but I'm not absolutely sure that those stickers will work on this. They might not look very good. Line that up a little bit more that way. That's just right there. Just right. There we go. Does that look pretty even? Yeah. Good enough. Good enough. Okay. Brr, 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 brr. Come on, heater, come on. I'm sorry, the heater's annoying the way it goes on and on and on, but my legs are getting cold. Need more insulation. There we go. Okay. I'm gonna flip that around so it'll hold there while we're thinking about how we're going to and decorate this a bit. Stay there. There we go. It worked. It worked. It worked, huh? There you go. It looks funky. Needs a little more there. That's okay. Okay, so for the front, I thought, so I had this, this is coffee dyed, like a thin muslin, and I tore some pieces off of it and kind of frayed them a little bit. And then this piece, I don't know. What do you think? Anchor. Maybe some words. Oh, what about this? Is that too much? What if I had a skull and a crossbone right on top of that? That'd be cool. I don't have one though. Or this, which is just a little plastic brooch, and this was sent to me. What do you think of that? Anyway, it was a gal was closing out some of her craft stuff, and so I paid for just the postage, and she sent it to me. So sweet to do that. So that was randomly in there. That way. Oh, maybe that way. Those stickers. What about? My printer's broken, so otherwise I would do something. I would just print something off. I could draw something too. That might be a little bit better. It's just not, this might be just too big. Let's try that. And let's dress this sticker up a little bit. Stick it back on the acetate. Look, there's a little outfit in here. Pirate outfit. I think I can put that inside. Maybe put it on a tag or something. There's a is that not a periscope? Oh my, spy scope, right? And a sword, and this is some little jewels in here, a little chest. Anyway, yeah, I'm getting off on a rabbit trail again. I think, gosh darn it, I need a skull and crossbones there. I wonder if Joann's would have something like that. I bet maybe they don't have. I do have a Joann's, as we discussed, but it doesn't have much. There's not much there. And if you want something, maybe not gonna get it. Maybe not. About 45 minutes to go to a couple of craft stores, which isn't that far. But it's over mountains and trails, and no, just over mountains. It's just a bit of a drive. It's not the end of the world, but yeah, I think that looks much better. Mo better. Yeah, I have it pretty tattered. I might tatter this up a little bit more. Let's tatter this up a little more. Oh, gosh. Isn't this fun? You having fun yet? There. That looks a little more tattery. So I just poked some holes in this with my little scissors, like this. It's pretty, you know, it's a wide weave. Oh gosh, I just saw a skull, but it's not metal. I want a metal skull. Skull and crossbones. Yeah, so just do that. Pull a little bit out. Off. Some of this on here. Makes it look a little tattered, like part of a sail. Yeah, a little bit. What about putting a little... No, that looks great. Fabulous. Well, I'm going to have to wait on that and see if I can get a skull. Because I think it'd look pretty cool. Darn. I wish I had something. I have a little compass, but that's not going to do it. I could stitch that on there, though. That'd be kind of cute. Sorry. Yeah, the anchor. I don't know. Maybe on the inside somewhere. Maybe on the little book. Or maybe this on the little book and the anchor on this. Little whale. Like a little whale. But he's really gold. I need to try. I have some alcohol inks. I could try those. Okay. Well, I'll have to come back to that. Revisit that. I'm going to go ahead and probably stitch that on there, though. It's like, I think I like that anchor on there. I do. So, let me see if I have my little stash here. Uh-oh. I see someone coming in. He's coming in. He says, Mom, it's dinner time. I want my dinner. Nope, he hasn't come through yet. There's a little eagle in there. Hi, buddy. I know, you're hungry. I know. You're neglected. That's terrible. I can't find a jump ring. Should have a jump ring here. Okay, this is super boring for you guys. Sorry. Hi, buddy. Just thought it had just a random one in here without, without getting my other stuff out. Yep. There we go. Let's bring back together here. Oh my gosh, I'm dying. I want to go outside. It's so pretty out. And it won't be for much longer. Okay, I'm struggling. My tools are too small. Oh well, I'll fix it. I will. Yeah. That's bent. It's a recycled one. Not a new one. Another tool. Here it is. Digging around. These are really, really hard jump rings, so I don't know if this will work. Yeah, kind of did. Yep. Still really weird. That's annoying. Okay, I don't think I'll make you guys suffer through anymore. Gotta go get us a skull and crossbones. Actually, I'm gonna make you suffer through just a little bit more here. Let's see about these on here. What do you think? Oh, come on. Tell me. What do you think? Need to be grungier? No, I have to think about this. This grungy boy stuff I struggle with. Well, I have these cute little, these were in a little book. They're adorable. Adorable. I don't need this. There's a whole bunch of little pirates. It was in a book that I picked up at the secondhand store. And it was a game. It was a book with a game, and it was all torn up. So I thought these would be cute on tags inside. What do you think? Yeah, see, there's all kinds of pirates. Just to pick some out. It's a little violent. Little violent. You'll love it, but it's a little violent. All these guys fighting with each other. Yeah, I think they'll be cute on tags. Let me see what I have over here. Is this wide enough for one? Not quite. Not quite. This one is. Oh. Maybe a little bit narrower than that. They all have names. I wonder if I did a slit in there and had them so that they folded out. Might be cute. We'll practice on one. Sorry, boring. Let's practice on one. Let's try this guy. Let's see, how wide do I want him? Let me put that way. I think I want that. These are small pockets, so maybe about there. Oh, that's not very straight cut. Maybe I should use something to follow. Pretty darn straight. Just use another piece of paper as a little bit of a guide and don't go too far. Okay, hang on. I'm gonna look for something. Okay, so I had a thought about this. I thought, you know, these tags really should probably be this color. So I need to paint more or find some scrapbook paper that matches, and I don't. Or use something to cover them with. And I had this over there that I was practicing on. Or you could do something like that. Just kind of, I don't know, my brain just kind of quit after that last little interruption. It said, you gotta stop, you gotta stop. I think I will stop for a little bit because I'm really like, no, I don't have it going on right now. Just don't. So I will. So I'm gonna say adieu. You guys have a great evening. Yeah, get out there and enjoy the moment. Or if it's, that's really super crooked. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for hanging with me. I will probably just continue this video tomorrow. So don't, you know, you wouldn't know one way or the other, except that, you know, I would just probably have more scars on my hands from blackberry bushes and stuff. Anyway, love you guys. Have a great night.